Hi all, I'm Neil from Time Robotics.
Hi, I'm Virginia. Today we'll be talking about the science of buoyancy, and we have a couple of experiments to help you visualize it.
So to start things off, what is buoyancy? Well, buoyancy is an upward force an object needs to stay afloat on water. The concept of buoyancy was first discovered by the ancient Greek philosopher Archimedes. He found that when an object is submerged in water, it moves or displaces water according to how much it weighs. In addition, he found that water will push upward against an object with a force or buoyant force equal to the weight of water that is displaced. The amount of water displaced can be determined by the object's density. Density is the measure of how much mass is in an object related to its volume, kind of like how much stuff/matter is inside an object, to put it in simple terms. To properly visualize all these ideas, let's imagine a bowling ball and a beach ball being put atop water. While both objects share the same volume, the bowling ball weighs more and is much denser than the beach ball, which causes the bowling ball to sink while the beach ball remains afloat. This happens because when the heavy bowling ball is dropped in water, the water pushes on it with a buoyant force equal to the weight of water that is displaced. But because the bowling ball is weighed more than the amount of water displaced, it sinks. Meanwhile, when the beach ball is pushed down on water, because it weighs less than the heavy bowling ball, it displaces an equal amount of liquid to their weight, allowing the buoyant force to keep the beach ball afloat. Buoyant forces help to explain why humans feel so much lighter when in water. Since our bodies are mostly made of water, a person's density is fairly close to that of water, which means that we will displace a certain amount of water equal to the weight of water being displaced, allowing us to float. Now, with that out of the way, let's transition over to Virginia, who will show more practical examples of the concept.
We're going to do a couple of experiments today using household objects. For the first experiment, you need an orange and a bowl of water. You could also use a vase for this. First, we're going to put the orange into the water to see if it floats. It does! The buoyant force is stronger than gravity. Another way to explain this is that the water the orange pushes away as it sinks weighs more than the orange itself, so it stays afloat. Now we're going to peel the orange. Do you think it will continue to float? Now, when we try it, it sinks. This is because the fruit itself is too dense. The peel adds a lot of volume without a lot of weight and has little holes for water to get trapped. Without the peel, the orange weighs more than the water it is moving, so the water pressure isn't enough to keep it floating. One very important application of buoyancy is boats. For this experiment, you'll need some heavy clay or aluminum foil. I'll be using some foil. First, we're going to fold our foil to try to get as much of the air out of it. You want a piece that's pretty big and heavy, but you don't want any air inside of it. If we put this into our bowl now, it sinks. If yours is floating, it probably means you have air stuck between the folds. If your clay is naturally buoyant, or the material itself is not as dense as water, it'll float. This is how sticks float in a river or creek. If you look at a lot of the materials we use in boats today, they aren't naturally buoyant. Metal is way denser than water, but people have been building boats out of metal for centuries. So how does this work? Take your foil and clay and make a boat. If we put it in the water now, it should float. If yours doesn't, your boat doesn't have enough volume and you need to alter its shape. Boats work like this because they catch the air behind the walls of the boat and use it to displace or move the water out of the way. A ball of metal is very dense, but by making a boat, I am increasing the volume and making the overall structure less dense. So let's see if my boat will work. See? Now it floats very easily on the top of the water.
Thank you for watching today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon to stay updated on future Time Robotics content. To adapt to the workload from this school year, we've switched to releasing 2 scheduled videos every month. However, we may release extra bonus content throughout that month, so make sure to stay tuned. Stay safe and have a great day, y'all.